Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video tutorial today, I'm going to show you some SSH commands that you can use to manage your WordPress website files in Amazon Web Services. So if you're just getting started with AWS, you probably kind of realize it's a bit technical. It does not offer any type of user interface or file manager similar to what you would find within the cPanel. If you're used to using the cPanel, then you know all about the file manager most likely, where you can go in, see your folders, your files, move files and folders around, edit files, and things like that. I'm going to show you how to do all of those things with AWS in the command line because that's really the only way to do it. So I got PowerShell open and I'm connected to my Amazon EC2 or my Amazon Lightsail instance. So the first command I'm going to show you is the pwd command. If you do pwd, it'll show you what directory you are in. This will print the working directory. So right now we are in the home directory, or rather we're in the Bitnami folder, which is located in the home directory. If you want to see a list of files within this folder, you can do ls, push enter, and you will see a complete list of files in that folder. If you want to see more of a detailed list, you can do ls-l, and you'll see a detailed list of all the folders and files in that folder. If you want to see any hidden files, you can do ls-a, and it'll show any hidden files, and it looks like there's some right here. If you want to do a list of your hidden files in the detailed list, you can do ls-l-a, and now you have a detailed list with those hidden files at the top. Now, when I'm working in the terminal, a lot of times you'll see me going like this, and that's just so I can give myself some more room, so everything's not all bunched up or pushed together. It just makes it easier. So you can do that if you want. You're not going to hurt anything doing that. All right. So in the terminal, anytime you want to go into a folder or to a specific directory, you have to use the cd command. So we're going to go right now. Let's go to the root of our server. In order to go to the root, we're going to do cd and /. This will take us to our root directory. And you can verify that you're there by doing pwd, and you'll see now we're in the root directory. If you want to go back to the home directory, just do cd, and then it's going to be this little squiggly thing over here, the tilde I think it is. Just do that, push enter, and now we're back at the home directory. And again, you can verify with pwd, and there we are at the home directory. But I want to go to the root, so we're going to go cd and /, push enter, and now we're at the root directory. Now let's take a look at all of our files within the root directory. So we'll do ls, and we'll see a bunch of files right here. Now let's go to our WordPress website files. Now with AWS, your WordPress website files are going to be stored in the OPT folder. So what we're going to do is go into this folder, and you'll do that with cd, opt, push enter. Now we're in the OPT folder. Let's take a look at what's in our OPT folder. Again, ls, push enter, and we have two more folders. Let's go to the Bitnami folder. So cd, Bitnami, push enter, and here we are in the Bitnami folder. And again, ls to see what's in that folder. And then if you look here, we see our WordPress file right here, or our WordPress folder. So let's go into that. So it'll be cd, and then WordPress, push enter, and now we're in our WordPress folder. Now, if you want to take a look at all the files in WordPress in your WordPress folder, again, just ls, and you'll see all your WordPress core files right here, like your WP config, WP content, WP includes. You have all your core files for WordPress right here. Now, if they're in white, white indicates a file, like a PHP file or a text file, an HTML file. It's a file if it's in white. If it's in this light blue color, it's a shortcut to the actual file. It's not the actual file, it's just a shortcut to it. And then if it's in blue, it is a folder. So anything blue is a folder. So for example, let's say you want to go into your WP includes folder. You can do cd, WP includes, push enter, and now you're in the WP includes folder. And if you want to see everything in there, just do ls, push enter, and you'll see a complete list of everything that's in there. Now, if you want to go back out of this folder, back to the WordPress folder that we were just in, just do cd ... It'll take you right back. And if you do ls again, you'll see that you're now back in the WordPress folder. Say if you want to go into a file like the WP config file, you can do that very easily. Just use nano, N-A-N-O, and then WP config.php, and this will take you into, oh, actually, I think I did something wrong here. So let me go out of it. And I did. I actually mistyped it. I put PGP. So let me type that again. So anytime you're creating, if you type something in with nano, if it doesn't exist, it will basically try to create it. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to type it in wrong, just like I did, wp-config.pgp. And you see down here at the bottom, new file. If this file that you're trying to go into does not exist, it'll just create it as a new file and stuff like that, which we'll get to in just a bit. But anyways, we're going to Control X to get out of here, and we're going to type it in correctly. So we're going to go nano and then wp config.php and push enter. Now we're in our WordPress configuration file. And from here, you can use your arrows to move around, and you can make whatever changes you need to make. After you make your changes, just do Control O and then enter and Control X to get out and save your changes. If you go into it and you don't make any changes, you can just use Control X to get right out of it. Now, of course, anytime you're going in with nano, you're going into a file where you have the ability to edit that file, which can be kind of unsafe at times. If you make a mistake, you could potentially, break your website or take it down. So if you want to just look at the contents that's in that file without having the ability to edit the file, you can use the command less and then put in the name of the file. And then push enter, and then you'll get this little viewer that'll pop up here. If you scroll down, this is just read only, so you can see your WordPress configuration file or whatever file you went into, but you can't make any changes in here. So to get out of it, just hit Q on your keyboard and it'll take you right back to the terminal. If you want to see the first few lines of a particular file, you can use head and then wp config.php, so head and the name of your file, and you'll see the first few lines of the file. If you want to see the last few lines, you can use tal, and this will print out the last few lines of the file, and this is the last few lines of the wp config file. If you want to print out the entire file in the terminal or to the terminal, you can use the cat command, so cat and then the name of the file, and then it's going to print out everything that's in that file. So if I scroll back up, here's the command that I used, and then here's everything that's in that file. It'll just print out into your terminal if you want to look at it that way. All right, so now let's make a folder within our WordPress folder that we're already in. So we want to add a folder in here. So if we go to list, our detailed list view, you can see we have all of our WordPress files, but there may be a time where you want to make a folder. So we're going to make a folder, and we're going to use that, or make the folder using the command make, or mk, and then dir, so that's for make directory. And then we're going to say new underscore folder. We're just going to call it that. That's going to be the name of our folder, new underscore folder. Push enter. The folder has been created, and I know it's been created because it returned me to a new prompt. And if you do ls and push enter, you'll see your new folder right here. You'll see the new folder right there that we just created. Now, if you want to go into that folder, just do cd new underscore folder, push enter. Now you're in the new folder. If you try to do ls, it'll show you nothing. It'll return nothing because there's nothing in that folder. So let's put a file in our new folder. Let's use nano, and then we'll say test underscore file.txt, or you can do .html or .php, doesn't matter. So we'll do .php. And then in here, it'll take you to nano. You'll see down here at the bottom, it's a new file because it does not already exist. So we can say this is a test file. And then to get out of it and save your changes, do Control O, enter, and then Control X. And now you're back at your terminal. And again, you can use cat if you want to see what's in that file. It'll show you right here. So now let's say we want to delete the folder that we just created. Okay. First, in order to delete the folder, you cannot be in the folder. So we need to go back to the WordPress folder where the new folder is located. So we're going to do cd ... And then from here we can do rm and then rm dir all to push together, and then the name of the folder, and then push enter, and it's going to give you an error saying, hey, you can't remove this because there's already files in this folder. So what you would have to do is go into the folder and remove whatever files before you can run this command. Now, if you don't care about the files that are nested in the new folder, which we have that file that we just created right here, the test file. So let's go back to the new folder. So cd new underscore folder and then ls, and you can see we have a test file. We would need to remove this test file in order to run the remove directory command. Now, what I'm going to do is go back. So cd ... go back to WordPress. So we already know we can't delete it with this command. So what we're going to use is a different command called rm-r and then the name of the folder, which is new underscore folder, push enter, and it's gone. So now if we do ls, you can see that new folder is no longer here. We just have our WordPress core files. But what I'm going to do is go back and we're going to recreate that folder. So make directory new underscore folder, and then I'm going to go into that folder and we're going to add a file in there. So we're going to say nano and test underscore file.txt. This is a test file. Control O, enter, and Control X to get out. Now, what I'm going to do is show you how to delete the actual file itself. So if we do ls, we see our test file right here. Let's delete the file. To delete this file, you're going to use rm-i, and then you're going to put the name of the file, so test underscore file.txt, and this is going to give you a prompt, and it's going to say, do you want to remove this file? You would answer yes or no. I'm going to say no. If I put Y, it would have just deleted the file immediately. So if you don't want a warning and you just want it to delete, you can also do rm and then test underscore file.txt, and this will immediately delete it. So now if I look, there's nothing in that folder, it's gone. All right, another thing I want to show you is that I meant to show you earlier. Let's go back one level, and we're back in our WordPress folder, and let's look at all of our files. So if you remember earlier, I mentioned if it's in light blue, it's a shortcut, it's not the actual file. If you want to know where this file is actually residing on your server, like where this file or this folder exists, there's a couple different ways to find out where that file or folder is really located. The first way is if we do ls-l, the detailed view. If you look here, you'll see the wp-config.php file, and it'll show you the exact path of where it's located. Now, this path might look similar to what we're in right now, but if you notice, we're into this path using or going through the OPT folder. This is not through the OPT folder. This is a completely different path. So that's where this configuration file is. It's in this path right here. Same thing with the WP content folder. It's in this same path as basically where the configuration file is. So let's say you want to go into, well, actually first let me show you another way that you can see the path. Let's say you weren't looking at this detailed list. You were just looking at this little view right here, and you want to know where this this file is located. You can use read link and then put the name of the file or folder, push, oop, I typed that wrong. Here, let me just give myself some more space. Read link wp config.php, push enter, and it'll return the path right here showing you where this file is located. Same thing if you want to do it with the folder, wp content, push enter, and here's the path of where that wp content folder is. So if you want to navigate to this path, again, we're going to do cd like I mentioned earlier, and we're just going to copy the folder structure right here, and we're just going to paste it in and push enter. Now we're in the WordPress folder. And if I do ls, you can see here's our WordPress configuration and WP content folder. If it's in blue, it's a folder. If it's in white, it's a file. So now you see the colors here are showing just like they should, because up here, like I said, these were just shortcuts. So anytime you want to find the path, this is how you would do it. Okay, and then another command that I think would be really helpful would be how to move a file into a folder. So let's take a look. Let's actually go first. Let's go back to our actual WordPress file or WordPress folder through this path here. So we're just going to copy this, just like that. And then we're going to cd right into it there. Oop. And actually I did that wrong. So we're going to do cd. And I missed the S on the end of WordPress. There we go. So now we're back in our WordPress folder. So we do ls so we can see all of our files in here. So let's go ahead and we're going to make a folder. So we'll say make directory new _ folder. And actually that folder already exists. So let's go into that folder. And we can see that there's nothing in the folder. So let's go back to the WordPress folder and we're going to make a file here. We're just going to say nano test _ file.txt and we're going to put that file in the WordPress folder. So now if we look at the WordPress folder, we have our test file right here and we have our new folder right here. Let's move this test file into the new folder. So to do that, I'm just going to do mv for move. And then you're just going to put the name of the file, which is testfile.txt, and then space, and then the name of the folder where you want to move it to, push enter, and it's done. So now if I do ls, you can see here's our new folder, but the test file that was up here is no longer down here because we moved it into our new folder. So if we go into the new folder by doing cd new _ folder, push enter, and then ls, you see the file right here. So that's all you got to do. All right, and the last thing that I'm going to show you is how to make a backup of your WordPress files. So anytime you're going to be using the terminal or going in with SSH, before you make any changes to your real website, I would recommend making a backup of your WordPress files. So to do that, we're going to go to cd and we're going to go to the home directory. Okay, so now we're in the home directory. And from here, what we're going to do is we're going to type in this command, tar. This is going to create an archive. And then we're going to do -c, and C is to create, and then Z is going to be to create a zip compression of our WordPress files. So I'm not going to explain every letter. I'm just going to do it. So we're going to put in CZ and then VF, and then we're going to put in whatever we want to call the name of our backup. So we'll say this is our backup. And then what we can do is put the date like I did up here. Like these are our backup files that I made previous to this video. So what we can do is put the date in here. Now to do the date, all you're going to do is use the $, and then put the word date and then space plus %f, and then close it with, close the parenthesis there, and then .tar or tar.gz. And then we're going to put the directory that we want to back up. So it's going to be this directory here. So we can just copy this up to the WordPress folder. So we're going to paste it in there just like that. Push enter, and it's going to immediately make a backup of all your files. And then you can do ls enter, and then you'll see right here, this is our backup. So our backup file is right here. And actually, it did not put the date in here. So I think I did that wrong. So we're going to do that one more time. So we're going to do tar-czvf, and we'll call this one a new backup. And then we'll do $, date, +%f, closing parenthesis, and then it's .tar.gz, and then it's going to be, let's see here, opt, bitnami, WordPress. Let's see if that one does it. Probably have the command slightly wrong, maybe. Let's see. A new backup. So now here's the new backup that we just did, and you can see this time the date is in there. So I must have just had a typo or something the first time I did it. But anyways, that's how you do it. Any questions? Put it in the comments.